All right, and down the stretch we come. So I'm going to bring this thing home. I don't have a ton of slides, and I'm focusing on how MotorCities can help you. So I'm reminded of, was it Jerry Maguire, the line where he says, "Help me, help you." Isn't that Jerry Maguire? Yeah.
Show me the money.
So, well, we're non-profits, we don't have any money. So, anyway, let me, now I'm going to try to do this and also mix in some pieces of our website and some of the social media that we have available. And my slides are not advancing. This is really weird. Okay, so here's a really short thumbnail of what is available to you that I have available to support you at MotorCities. On our website, we have our events page. And I'm going to try to click this and see if I can take you there. I was telling Jay and Emily from Gilmore that I'm so glad that they have developed a lecture series that starts in the wintertime, because it helps keep my events page populated during the more dead period of the year for automotive events. So this is our events page. And you'll see right there, it says, there's a red link, it says submit an event. What's the problem? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were not, like I was too close to the mic or something. Okay. All right. So yeah, there's a chance you can actually click and a little database set of fields comes up where you can actually submit your own events to me. I wish more people used it, but it's there. I'd love for more people to use it. So hopefully today is a great start on getting more of these kinds of submissions sent to me. More often than not, we end up mining our partners' websites trying to find content. And so anything you can do to save us time or an intern's time looking for content to put on here, the better. So we have a variety of events here. Some are exhibits, like what's currently at the Detroit Historical Museum. We have Don Nicholson's All-American Cruise coming up. We have today's event, which as soon as I get away from here, that'll come right off. We've got some events at the Paquette. Oh wait, there's Gilmore. Under the radar, the guys are appearing at our partner, the Michigan Military Technical and Historical Society in East Point. So it's pretty easy to do, to submit an event to us. All you need is the basic details, a little description.
Pause on that one for a minute. Billy
Yes.
Durant by Restore.
Billy Durant by Restore, right there. Hopefully future to be seen on America's Got Talent, Restore. So yeah, basically I use the event page to take us out about a month ahead usually, but during the summer with all the different car events and things that are coming up, I'll populate the whole summer's worth so that people can use it more for planning. But with these being mostly lectures and films and exhibits and things, I've only taken it through mid-April. Yes, Don?
Can you go back and edit one of these?
Well, you need to send new details to me
Okay.
if something needs to be fixed.
Thank
You
you.
can't edit it directly yourself.
That's what I was, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. So that's not a functionality of it at this point. So, I also have an e-newsletter, which comes out every Wednesday, which is called You Ought to Know Weekly. Yeah, I'll be there in just a second. Right here. It goes out to 6,200 email inboxes every Wednesday. And one of the first things that we did when I joined MotorCities was we separated the wheat from the chaff. We had over 10,000 email addresses at the time, but we now have it down to the best email addresses, and that's 6,200. And we're any way we can do to acquire additional emails for that. We'd love to be able to get this to more people every week. But there's an easy sign up for it. Right at the bottom of the homepage of our website, there is an e-newsletter sign up button that you can push. And then you can just give us your name, your email address, and you're good to go. The franchise. This is the franchise. This is what most people are most attached to, whether it's our website, whether it's our e-newsletter, whether it's our social media. I mean, so much, the story of the week drives so much of our traffic. It's a weekly story with an automotive theme. The content is so varied. It can be famous people in the automotive industry, it can be events, it can be certain historical moments, it can be specific types of cars, it can be design and technology focused. It's just very all over the place, and people love it. So that's the story of the week. Now, let me get to the social media. We have a growing social media presence. I came on board in December of 2017, so it's been a little over 2 years now. We were at about 3,500 on Facebook when I started, and we're closing in rapidly on 8,700 today in terms of our Facebook likes, 9,000 so followers. And one thing that I did successfully when I was at the Detroit Historical Society, you can't find more content when you work for a museum or a historical society. And social media, of course, is all about content. And Facebook, as has been mentioned by both Emily and Mickey, was that telling stories is really big for Facebook. And one thing that I used to grow Facebook, I literally, at the Historical Society, literally social media came along when I was there. So literally got in at the ground floor and literally started social media with Facebook. And I had all this content at my disposal, which is fantastic. Lots of great images, lots of great content. And one thing that I had available to me, which lent itself so much to growing Facebook, was I had a calendar, and I had items of historic interest from Metro Detroit history for virtually every day of the year. So what a great place to start if you have that kind of content, was to put something up every day that's a morsel from the city's history. And that's how things really started to cook at the Detroit Historical Society, was this Days of Detroit, as I hashtagged it. And so when I came to MotorCities, I thought, wouldn't it be great to replicate that at MotorCities? And to my absolute joy, there was some research that was already done, and it was in an Excel database that was done by an automotive writer who had done some research work for MotorCities. And so there was raw data of specific dates from automotive history and the days that they took place. So over the course of my first year at MotorCities, I literally mined this database. The daily history channel, This Day in History website, has a good number. If you don't subscribe to This Day in History from the History Channel, they can send you daily emails of cool stuff that happened on that day in history. And some, they do have, not many, but they have some automotive content there. So between that scholarship, this day in history from online on the History Channel. And then some of the Days of Detroit data that I still had from working at the Historical Society, a lot of that content was automotive. So over the course of my first year, I populated this database of historic dates. And it really started to grow the Facebook for MotorCities. There's definitely a lag when we try to click on stuff here. So I created some other franchises. I had Story of the Week, which I inherited, but then I added This Day in Auto Heritage as a hashtag, and I started to put, I say at this point, a little over 2 years in, I've probably got content for about 80% of the year. So, hey look, there's Mickey. This is this week's Story of the Week on social. The email goes out at 10 a.m. Usually within an hour, hour and a half of the email going out via Constant Contact, I send out the social media post that shows that same content to our social media audience. And then there's also the This Day in Auto Heritage material that I try to send out every day. And I try to send it out as close to consistent in the morning as possible, usually by 9 o'clock, so that people who often, when they click in at work, they check their social media. So here's an example from yesterday. This is the guy who invented the intermittent wiper. So he was born in Gary, Indiana on March 10th of 1927. And you can see this post reached 8,651 people. So, you know, we've really been able to grow the presence. This one from the Olds Motor Works, Burning in the Fire, from March 9th of 1901. This one really did well. It reached almost 30,000. And then it just so happened I had a post about a woman who was vice president at Ford Motor Company, who unfortunately passed away. But it happened that her death fell on the International Women's Day. So to have a Women's History Month post, and it fell on International Women's Day, what a little bit of kismet there. And people were really interested in seeing that story. So Twitter, it's not as, it's growing a little bit of traction, but you know, based on the demographics of MotorCities membership and interest, Facebook is really the focus, my primary focus. But we do tweet. Instagram, again, much younger. Facebook also owns Instagram, and they did add a button when you're posting on Facebook that you can also add that same post to Instagram. So that's helped me populate Instagram a little bit. I hope at some point to have a little more time and resources to be able to differentiate a little more between the social media channels. But for right now, I'm mostly concerned with getting interesting content up as many channels as possible. And we do have a YouTube page. But I also put on all the tables earlier our brochure, which we have distributed via our network of automotive attractions, including the Gilmore. Lots of historic sites, the Travel Michigan Welcome Center. Any Travel Michigan Welcome Center in the Lower Peninsula should have these brochures, as well as we also pay for access via the CTM Media brochure racks, which are around Metro Detroit. And so this essentially is a paper guide to finding more resources and hopefully using our website to find those additional resources. And as as Brian mentioned earlier, we do also have our passport program, which we put out a new passport book every year. The 2021 is actually in production as we speak. I put some of the examples of the 2019 books on the tables, and I have boxes of both the brochures and the passports available. So if anybody wants to take any quantity of them on their way out for their individual venues, or feel free to take as many as you need. We now have 26 partner attractions that are featured in the passport book. And last but not least, we're noticing a real influx of additional new people coming to us via our website and our social media. And a big reason is, in November and December of 2019, we finally, it took a lot of years of work, and we gotta give some special applause to Brian Yap for all his yeoman's work in helping make these a reality. But we finally have highway signs in the ground that are welcoming people to MotorCities. And I can tell, using the Google Analytics, they're blowing up on the website. I mean, we had about between 25 and 30% increase in our web traffic from 2018 to 2019, basing on the full 12-year Google Analytics numbers. And just in January and February of this year, 2020, I've noticed that they're continuing to accelerate. So MotorCities website, social media, all of it, it's growing. It's there for you. I'm ready to help. You know, our prime travel season is coming. So if you need help with promoting your events, your venues, etc., you know, please let me know. Please send along your information. Yes, Russ?
Is there any way that some of the folks here can play off of this sign posting? Any suggestions there?
I'm sorry?
That some of the venues here can play off of the posting of the signs.
Well, I mean, there's 9 in the ground right now. So, you know, they're some are on Lansing. There's one north of Flint. The rest are Metro Detroit area. So, you know,
Any hashtags
we have a few hashtags that I use. I use Explore MotorCities. Hashtag Explore MotorCities is one that I use a lot. So that would be one way to you know, to work MotorCities into your social media posts. Certainly, I'd love everybody here to, you know, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, you know, support us via Instagram and the like. And please get me the information in our automotive related events, because we could really help you. Yeah.
The best way for them to utilize it is to get you the information and have it on our website, because the big thing that we've spent almost 20 years to get these sites for is to represent MotorCities, to get people to know what MotorCities National Heritage Area is, and that will help drive them to our website. If your content is there, if your links are there, then you're going to get the win from it.
Right. Ideally, if you've got an event that you're promoting, I'd love to have it at least 3 to 4 weeks in advance. That gives me time to get it on the website. It'll go on the website almost immediately after I receive it.
and images?
And images. You know, social media, I do, you know, week of. I have an event section of the email that I send out weekly. One of the sections in the email is events coming up in the MotorCities if I don't have a lot of stuff for that particular week. If it's a lot of stuff happening that weekend, I put in as many things as I can with the tag of what's coming up this weekend in the MotorCities. So, you know, I think think we're going to start really helping bring a lot more interest and people and awareness to all of our partners. So, any questions, any additional thoughts in terms of, or tips that you guys have that are unique to you, that you've been able to use, success stories? Or everybody's getting psyched up because they want to go take a tour? Okay. Well, I'm hoping that next time I look at my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram for MotorCities, I'm going to have some new people. So, thanks for your time.